it won't surprise you to learn that statistically we are the worst at penalty shootouts. We've lost all 3 of them and only scored half of the 14 penalties we've taken. This makes sense given how the first ever shootout went at Italia 90.
England have never ever been involved in a penalty shootout before in a competition. Now they have to take penalties for the biggest prize of all, a place in the World Cup final.
I don't think anyone ever decides neither the order nor who will take them before the game, because obviously when you're playing 120 minutes of football, the chances of ending with the same team that you start are fairly remote.
Who on earth will be brave enough to step forward to take those penalties? We think we know the answer to that. We think Paul Gascoigne will be one of them, even though during the interval, Paul Gascoigne, having received his second yellow card of the tournament, knowing that he wouldn't be able to play in the final, has obviously been emotionally affected by that, very distressed, being comforted by Steve McMahon, among others, down there.
You talk about who will take them. I think, we all thought Gazza would take one, but he said he wasn't in any sort of emotional state to do so.
But in just a few moments, Peter Shilton and Bodo Illgner, the West German goalkeeper, the 2 keepers will step away to the left. I think there is a toss of the coin now going on between the 2 captains, Peter Shilton and Lothar Matthäus, to see who is going to take the first penalty, and then the action will move away to our left.
I think David Platt, Peter Beardsley, myself, Stuart Pearce, were always going to take penalties if we were still on the pitch. And of course, finding a 5th wasn't that easy. In the end, Bobby Robson just told Chris he was going to do it.
The most forward player is Gary Lineker, the man, of course, who tucked away those 2 penalties against Cameroon. And Gary Lineker, indeed it is, to step forward, first of all, to try and continue his run. Remember, he has scored 4 goals already in the competition. It's Gary Lineker against Bodo Illgner in this penalty shootout to decide a place in Sunday's World Cup final.
Got my idea. Low right, low right, low right, low right. Don't change your mind.
Lineker scores!
It's a wonderful sight when you see the goalkeepers starting to go really well.
And it's 1-0 to England. England get the psychological lead. Beardsley against Illgner, he scored! High into the net, away to Illgner's left. And it's 2-1 to England.
Germany look to Inter Milan once more. Bremer took the first. It's the captain, Lothar Matthäus, who'll take the second. He moves back with some purpose. Now he comes forward, hits it right-footed, and that's another tremendous penalty, and it's 2-2.
I roomed with Pete Shilton, and we'd watched a few penalty shootouts in that tournament. And in every penalty shootout we saw, there was pretty much guarantee that 2 of them would go pretty straight at the goalkeeper. So we had this conversation that if you wait as a goalkeeper, you're bound to save 2. You have to save 2. There'll be 2 hit straight at you. But the Germans, every one hit the stanchion, didn't it? Right in the corner. And because obviously he didn't guess which way he was going to go, he was waiting to see, he'd never got close to any of them. That's why, and it's all my fault.
Matthäus there hit that with such power past Shilton's right-hand side. I think if Shilton had actually got his hands to it, it would have taken him in the net with him.
Stuart Pearce, who you'd always back, you knew he was going to blast it, Pearcey, because he was that kind of player.
Stuart Pearce with the left foot against Illgner, and Illgner saved it! Straight at the German goalkeeper. And Pearce has missed from the spot.
He's a bit unlucky, just the wrong height, just caught the keeper's feet. If it goes a bit higher, he scores. If it goes a bit lower, he scores. But you just felt for him, really. And then you bang under it.
They're trying to console Stuart Pearce, but he will be the most unhappy man in all of Europe at the moment.
Chris Waddle didn't like taking penalties. He didn't want to take a penalty. There were 4 volunteers and Chris Waddle.
We've still got hope. Chrissy Waddle's coming up to take the last penalty for England. If he can score with this, Schultz can still pull us out of it.
I'd still fancy him score because Chris is a wonderfully brilliant technical footballer. But I think under the pressure, he just decided to blast it.
Chris Waddle has to put this penalty in the net to keep alive England's chances. Otherwise, West Germany will go through.
And he just, leant back a fraction and the rest is history, as they say.
Waddle has ballooned it over the bar. And West Germany have won this penalty shootout.
That dreadful feeling of losing a penalty shootout. It's the one thing I still think, if only. if only. And I had the conversation with Sir Bobby, and he's exactly the same. One thing in his career, if only we'd have got lucky in that penalty shootout.
If only. Dr. Mark Wilson.